Hey guys, what's up? Lone Berserker here, and this is going to be the reenaction of the Siege of Carthage. Okay, so this is the reenaction of the Siege of Carthage. We did 2 Carthaginian defenders and 1 Roman attacker to make up for the massive advantage that the Carthaginians had in terms of numbers. But our armies kind of suck. Now I am going to speed it up just to get this deployment phase over with. The Roman army was kind of a free will army. We allowed the player to make his army, but it was very restricted as to what he could and couldn't use. We were extremely restricted, so let's just wait till all my units line up here. So he has the Roman player, we'll just do his first. He has 1 onager to because the Romans historically did tear the walls down, so he has an onager. We allowed him to take any equipment that he wanted to. He's got 4 Roman archers gold attack, a Roman general, I think it's maxed out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so that's to make up for Scipio Africanus. And then he's got 1, 2, 3. These are Hastati. There's another Principe in there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Principes, and a few Hastati with various upgrades. So that's his army. I was hoping he would bring some Triarii, but he didn't. So my army is almost the exact same as my allies' army. We both have a Numidian mercenary and a long shield cav with gold attack. We both have a general's bodyguard with gold attack to represent Hanno wasn't the Carthaginian commander at this time of the defense of the city was not the greatest, so we just gave him crappy upgrades. We have 1 Spanish mercenary gold, 1 Iberian infantry gold, 4 Libyan spears that just disappeared gold, 2 slingers gold attack, my goodness, 3 skirmishers gold attack, and 6 town militia gold, plus 1 experience, and that's basically our armies for the most part. So, you know, numbers wise we got the advantage, but we did just kind of start the game, by the way. We said we would deploy while the game was going. So my plan here was to defend. Our kind of idea, I guess we agreed on, was he was going to defend the right side of the gate. I was going to defend the left side of the gate. I know it kind of sounds stupid, but we didn't want to mix our troops up too badly. I have an attachment of 4 Libyan spears here, along with my cav, planning on sallying out. You'll see how good that goes. So let's just speed it up, because it does take a while for our opponent to, you know, use his artillery and stuff. My ally sallies out with his cav. My ally was kind of, I don't know what the heck he was doing. He was running his army around. I was telling him to spread it out, but he wouldn't listen. So I spread my guys out really thin here because I didn't want to get shot. I am speeding this up, by the way. It's kind of boring to just sit here and watch artillery hit walls. So our opponent brings up, okay, here we go. My ally sallies out with his cav, including his general. This was kind of risky because of pathfinding issues, but he actually gets out pretty fine, and he sends he kills 1 horse actually with that volley, which is pretty surprising. He sends his general bodyguard right at the Romans, and it did get a charge bonus. He wanted to just see if he could kill some archers, which he is doing pretty well, I guess. He has his long shield cabin, but the problem is this is a fully maxed out general's bodyguard. It's not gonna die easily. I'm quite surprised our opponent here. I didn't even introduce the frickin' players. Playing as Scipii is Ox 1 1 1 3 17 19, aka Marcus. My ally was Venator, and then I am the other Carthaginian player. I should have done that first. So yeah, we kind of lose there. His general was brought down to 17, and he kind of bashed him up quite a bit, honestly, but his Hastati came up there pretty quickly and dealt with them. So I am coming out of the gate. I am moving my Libyan spears back, by the way. Didn't really see a point in keeping them over there, I guess because I didn't really want to sally out after I thought it through. Because without my Libyan infantry, my infantry is severely crappy. I mean, it's already crappy, but the Libyan infantry are better than any unit I have over here. Other than the Spanish mercenaries, they're pretty good. So you can see I'm getting ready. I have units to block this area and this area here. And the sappers actually on my side are taking a lot longer than these ones over here. He is using his archers to dig sap points, which is pretty smart there. He's got his towers in place. I have my cav coming over, which I do use here in a moment. The problem with reenacting the historic siege of Carthage is that you can't really reenact it. And what I mean by that is it was 3 years of constant warfare, of multiple sallies and stuff. There was even some fighting in the harbor where the Carthaginians were making a secret fleet, which was impressive, by the way. They literally made a fleet inside their city without the Romans knowing. I'd give them credit for that. When you really look at the resourcefulness of the citizens of Carthage, it really kind of strikes you when you compare it to their flippin' armies on the field. But I guess that was more of a general problem. Like, their generals were kind of crappy. I mean, they had a few good ones that fought during the First and Second Punic Wars.
Fights with the spade rather than the sword.
But they just, man, they never put effort into their army. It was always about their stupid money, and look where that got them. Literally killed, quite literally. They were mugged in the street of their own town. But the citizens of Carthage, like I said, they were very patriotic, and I think people misinterpret that when they look at their armies and their record against Rome. But I mean, before that, before they actually started fighting Rome, they were very efficient. They were actually kind of peaceful. They were ruthless, if you read about their other wars. Oh, and he starts burning our city. He just starts shooting at random buildings with the onager. Going back to the Carthage thing, though, the citizens truly didn't want to surrender. They fought their flippin' hearts out. I think it was 400,000 of them all together. They literally used their children and women and fought side by side to the bitter end. But even at the siege of Carthage, their command structure utterly sucked. Hanno was a terrible commander. He was a coward on top of that. His wife, I think, was braver than him. As far as I remember, I think she took a more noble death than he ever did. So at this point, I'm like screaming at my ally to move his units and stretch them out to prepare for the oncoming Roman attack. I get my general up there.
Fights with the spade rather than the sword.
So you can see I'm like ready to take this Roman on. I have my guys specifically set up to be aided right away by slinger fire and skirmisher fire, because I know town militia, even though we have pretty high upgrades on them, they're not gonna last long. They're freaking town militia. I don't know what you guys want me to do with town militia, but I was thinking of maxing them out, but I thought there'd be too many upgrades. But I mean, what the heck? Would it really? My ally is running his general back up. And I should mention this, by the way, we are watching this from my ally's perspective, technically. It's my ally's replay because mine desynced at the end. It did not change the outcome of the game. In fact, I was very shocked at the outcome of this game. So the battering ram is hitting our gate there. He's ready to break in.
The enemy fights with the spade rather than the sword.
The ending is it's shocking, to say the least. So I have Libyan spearmen ready immediately to fill in the gaps of the town militia, which will break quickly. And there goes the gate. So our opponent here is being oddly selective. If I was him, I don't think I would have taken down so many choke points. Because fighting in the street like in these gaps here can be very detrimental, but at the same, in my opinion at least, taking Carthaginian infantry like ours on the wall would be much easier than in the street, but that's just my opinion. So here I come. I realize that I need to at least do something to slow him down a little bit, do some damage to him. I go for a feint with my cav. I have my Numidians throwing some javelins at them. I'm just basically probing his units just to, you know, let him have it a little. He runs some, I think he misclicks here. He's got his archers going in front of his infantry, and I do take advantage of that really quickly. You can see I got my Numidians still just being very aggressive here. And yeah, he does this, which was a mistake because I'm going to come right down on that. And at the same time, over here, I'm sallying out with 2 units of town militia just to keep him in place. They're not supposed to do much more than that. Just want to keep him in place a little bit. I get in a fight with my long shield cav with his Hastati here, but I do pull out. I got the Numidians still circling around, just kind of probing him. I want to keep him out here for as long as I can, and then I decide to go on an assassination mission after I fail at this attack. I wanted to try and break this Hastati by charging it. It doesn't work, but I do get the archer, and I kill it pretty quickly. Flippin' Numidian mercenaries are really good at being skirmish cav. Very freaking effective at that. I do charge his general, and I kill quite a few of his bodyguards. My long shield, but they break right away, the Numidians. They're not stable. I miss his general when I went for a charge, and I hit the Hastati instead. So my little cav fight is over there. My town militia at this point are breaking over here. Then my ally, he makes a very odd decision. We're not going to look at that. But he sallies out all of his army on that side because he thought fighting outside the wall would have been better than inside. I don't agree with that decision at all, by the way. And I was fiercely against it. My Numidians decided to fight to the death here. I don't know why. They do eventually get back in the city. So now I got my slingers moved up even closer. I got my skirmishers ready here because I'm ready to take this Roman on. I'm not going to give the walls away here very easily. So yeah, my ally tries to outflank my opponent, or the opponent, I guess you could say, with what's left of his cav, and it kind of works. He gets his archers, but his archers aren't going to win him this game. It's going to be his Principes. So, in position here to take this guy on, and he is using his Piola, but he's firing at town militia, and I am getting some pretty good kills here with my slingers. Now, something I wish I do later, but I wish I did right now, is actually put my skirmishers on these walls. I was going to do that if he attacked with ladders, but he didn't. So, you know, I just kind of thought that I'd do this instead. So you can see I am whittling down this unit. I'm using my skirmishers as effectively as I could. Just trying to kill as many of them as I can. And I think, in my opinion, my opponent is wasting a lot of his ammo. Well, actually, it's just siege tower fire on town militia. But I think anything used on town militia is quite a waste. But I guess, I mean, if you're facing up against such a massive army and units, you gotta do something. So the enemy gets through the gate. My ally gets back inside the city, more so because I yelled at him and told him to get in the city. He actually does something pretty useful here in this fight, and you'll see that coming up in a second. So I realize that I can't allow him to outflank my opponent without at least outflanking him with something. So I immediately get in here with some town militia to keep him in place. He tries to outflank my outflank, but I'm ready with, I just sent the skirmisher in, by the way, just to keep him in place. I'm ready with these Libyan spearmen, which aren't bad units. They're very stable, actually. I bring up more, and I also bring up skirmishers and my general, just to keep my men, what's it called, morale-wise in the safe zone, I guess you could say. So we're trying to, I'm trying to just keep his Principes and other units in place. Now, this doesn't last long at all, because I'm using town militia, and town militia are the best unit in the game, so I end up getting outflanked after outflanking the outflanker. It doesn't end well at that point. I've still got him in place over here, though, and I've got javelin fire going down right on him. In my opinion, the best way to kill Romans is with missile troops and hit-and-run tactics, so that's what I was trying to do. But, in my opinion, what I should have done, like I was saying, is put some slingers up here. I don't know why the heck I didn't. It would have literally been perfect. I guess... Oh yeah, there goes the Roman general. I don't know why he did that. He put his general in the front line. But at this point, Carthage's morale... Well, the right flank of Carthage collapses. All those units run back to the town square. Most of them get run down, though. And you can see I am losing numbers here. I have more reserves to throw into the fight, but... I'm not going to be able to keep this fight up as long as I wish I could have. I do end up pulling back to the town square rather quickly, actually. So yeah, I'm fighting there. I have this Libyan spearman in reserve. I still get the slingers firing as much as they can. They've probably killed some of my own men, but I really don't care. It's worth it. I get another Libyan spearman here, which at this point was probably a waste because the entire right flank has collapsed. So I am basically living on borrowed time here. I still have my general though, and he will come and be very useful in a minute here. So I'm like, alright, at this point, I need to just get back. I'm fighting for way too long here. I decided to throw my general into the fight to keep the Romans pinned and give my other units time. I think I send this unit in, which looking back, was a huge flippin' mistake. I should not have done that, and I do get my general out of there. He takes casualties rather quickly, which although his upgrades were lacking, I wasn't expecting that at all. So yeah, I do throw that unit in there. Like I said, probably a bad idea. Town militia over here are finally breaking. I think I do the same thing. I charge in just for a second. No, I don't charge in. What the heck was that? But I got slinger fire on him red immediately from two different directions here. So he was taking a lot of casualties from that, and those Libyan spearmen just break. I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. So at this point, I do need to run, like, quickly. I get one last charge with my general on his guys. The pathfinding is weird, that's why he didn't actually get a charge on him. I get my slingers, I'll get him back there. I send a slinger, and I forgot about the skirmisher, so I do just realize now that he is here, and I will use him to great effect later on. So at this point, I'm just trying to use my general to guide whatever I have left back to the town square safely. Excuse me. Alright, so let's see what Team Carthage here has left versus Team Rome. So, town militia, a town militia, a slinger, a town militia, an Iberian infantry, and a town militia, all severely wounded and exhausted. Like 2 cav, 3 bodyguards, I mean, a skirmisher, actually pretty healthy and useful. Some town militia, a long shield cav, exhausted. I have a full Iberian infantry, a full Spanish mercenary. My ally has... Nope, that's me, actually. Skirmisher, a town militia. The skirmisher's out of ammo. What's this? 1 skirmisher, like literally 1 guy. 13 town militia, 2 town militia, 69 slingers, giggity gig, and some Libyan spearmen. And then over here, I got some skirmishers which are getting shot by Pila, a general, and a slinger. So now I actually do what I should have done a while ago. So I am looking for some very important targets. Also, this is what Rome has left. Everything he has is right here, I think, except for 1 or 2 units. Nope. My opponent's getting ready for a flank, by the way, which I told him not to do. So, I get the skirmishers in place, and I target immediately this Principe. And watch it just start dropping. It's already down to 66 after the first volley. Down to 62. Down to 55. 48. 40. 32.
The walls belong to the enemy. Look
I think
now
it's out
to
of ammo.
brave men as the last
I
line
killed
of
half that
defense.
unit with a single skirmisher. I was proud of myself. So yeah, my ally charges here. I don't agree with it, by the way. I didn't like that maneuver at all. So at this point, I'm just kind of using the skirmisher to keep the Roman opponent busy with some units here. It's not going to win this fight, but actually skirmishers are pretty tough, at least on walls and defensive situations. So they'll put up a fight against the society for a little bit, and his society is tired. My guy is just warmed up. So I am pretty confident that I can hold him here for a little bit. And plus, in Rome Total War, every unit that breaks on the wall is fighting to the death. So I knew my guys were going to last a little bit longer than more, give us more time than we needed to rest our troops up. So, Rome is coming up here, and I see this as an advantage. Now, I don't have a lot of guys, but I do have some. I have this one brave Numidian rider that breaks the entire unit, and I just send him running through. He breaks another unit, and then I think he gets the last one too, because they were all exhausted, and they were all just breaking. We're just trampling these guys. His general's bodyguard comes up. He dies in a minute here. This last brave soul. Scipio Africanus is already dead, so this battle is basically won. I'm just kidding. So yeah, I break there, but I do kill 2 archer units with like 7 units of cav, which I was pretty proud of. Over here, the skirmisher is still putting up a fight, but my opponent actually gets smart and uses his Pila on my guy, which is actually a really effective way of clearing out units on a wall. It's just by point blank firing at them. So over here, I kind of just speed it up, by the way. Nothing eventful happens for the next little bit. We're just kind of setting up for our final stand here. So I put my weakened town militia in the front to soak up Pila, and I get my slingers in position, and I also have that one Spanish mercenary which still has ammo in it, so I was pretty hell-bent on making him use every single shot. And here I figure out how just freaking crappy Slinger's range is. This is how close I had to get to him to use my Slinger. I mean, come on. Archers have like twice that range, if not more. They're just, poor Slingers. Now, over here, I take advantage of my opponent. I don't know if he didn't see my Slinger, or just didn't care, but I ambushed him in the street. Like, never mind. And I kill a lot of his Hastati, which currently break, and they're down to 26, so I was pretty proud of that. I had cleared out that Hastati by this point. He does come back, but I chase him down with my Slinger and shoot him some more. So yeah, over here I am targeting these Principes, just killing as many of them as I can before they get into combat here. He tries to run forward, but I just block him with the town militia. And those are just to keep him in place for about 30 seconds, because that's as long as they're going to last. Still though, they allow me to have him waste Pila and also allow my slingers to fire. Now, fun fact guys, at this point, from here on out, I have no clue what happens. Everything that happens right now is different from what I was doing because we were desynced. Now that does have an impact on the game, but it has a good impact on the game, so you'll understand what I mean in a second here. So the Roman Principes are getting pounded pretty hard here by Slinger Fire, which was about as effective of a way as killing them as we were going to get. Fighting them on the town square wasn't going to work because it's too big and it gives them too much room to maneuver their heavier infantry. So we need to keep them. I know that sounds kind of weird, but we were outnumbered at this point, I think. And if we weren't, it was by the skin of our teeth, and we did not have a lot of troops. So I get my Spanish mercenary into position here and get him on fire at will. Although he does get shot pretty badly, he actually doesn't take that many casualties. So he fires here a little bit. He's able to repay the Romans with their own tactic. And they took a lot of casualties from that. And now Marcus here, the Roman player, just goes for a massive attack. Also over here, this was hilarious by the way, I was laughing about this. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Okay. I keep him. This Hastati unit came back for revenge. Game, unpause. Okay. This Hastati unit came back for revenge on my Slinger, and I do make him break, which was hilarious. So, the final fight is coming here, and we wanted to put the majority of our strength right here on this corner, specifically so that our Slingers could have free will of shooting them. But I get scared because he's kind of pushing here, and I do run up an Iberian infantry to help, which this Iberian infantry hasn't been touched this entire game. It is fresh. I come in with my general, and here we go. This massive charge sends a bunch of his units breaking, and a lot of them just continue breaking. The morale penalties were simply too high. They were tired, they were wavering, they had no general, and you can see a lot of them are breaking right here, but I didn't know this. I only thought a few units were breaking. And so my teammate was yelling at me, telling me to keep pushing my general in because he was causing all the breaking. I didn't know this. I only thought like 2 units had broken, And so, like I said, everything was different. The entire freaking Roman army just breaks at this point. And again, like I said, at this point on my screen, what I'm seeing is that my general is dead, and that we have like a few units left, and that's why I'm running my bodyguard back. If I knew that it was the opposite of what was happening, I would have been right after that Roman army. So the entire flippin' Roman army breaks from one single charge. And Balhamun be praised, because we won that by the skin of our freaking teeth. And you can even see that all my units are stopping, but none of my allies are, because I wasn't even in control of what was happening. And at this point, our opponent admits defeat. He only had this one unit left.
Any victory is still a victory.
Yeah, any victory is still a victory. Holy crap, was that a flippin' battle? And look at the casualties, man. He killed so much more than we did. But that's to be expected. I mean, the base of our army was freaking Libyan infantry and town militia. We didn't give ourselves a single phalanx unit because we just thought it would be unfair. We didn't give ourselves elephants because there were no actual elephants in the siege of Carthage, which is really sad. I think it would have been awesome. At least, I don't know if there were elephants. I couldn't find anything on Google. Yeah, that's where I go for my sources nowadays. I'm just kidding. I have read about the siege of Carthage before, I just don't, remember it, and I don't remember anyone ever mentioning anything about elephants. I know the walls of Carthage were so big that they could house 300 elephants, but I'm pretty sure Rome made Carthage disband their elephant force after the Punic Wars. Frankly, I don't know why, because I feel like the elephants aided the Romans more than the Carthaginians, because how many times they ran amok and killed their own infantry. But that being said, the Carthaginians fought like wild men at this siege. All of them were almost completely killed. Most others were enslaved. The entire city was destroyed, sadly. So I guess we have an alternative fate, and that is Carthage lives on. Hanno was victorious. Scipio Africanus is freaking dead. Can you believe that? The general who defeated Hannibal is dead. Good riddance. I didn't like him anyway. So, this was my allies' army? It must have been. Right? No. Yeah. Yeah. This is my army. You can see the main units actually doing the damage was my cav, which was hilarious. The Spanish and Iberian mercenary, my best infantry, did pretty good too. Skirmishers doing really good actually, and slingers doing very good too. But you can see our infantry was just completely flipping outmatched. Not even fair. You can see the statistics there. I can't show you the Roman statistics of Marcus, but hats off to him. He did a great job, at least at the first part. I'm just kidding. So I think if we were to do this again, we would actually do 5 players. It's just a thought, and we would pre-make all the armies to a certain degree, I guess you could say. I think it'd be flippin' awesome if we did 5 players. It would be awesome. 3 Carthaginian defenders and 2 Roman attackers. It would be fun. But I think we would make our armies probably weaker. And I know that sounds weird, but we just have so many men, and at that point it becomes just a flippin' mess of town militia and crappy units getting run over in the street. I think to make it more interesting, we would probably say no artillery and only give a certain amount of siege equipment. As far as I know, in the real life siege of Carthage, Rome, Scipio Africanus broke through at like night or something at the corner of the city, and then he had to withdraw because apparently his position became compromised and the Carthaginians were coming after him. And then I really can't remember. I've literally read about the siege multiple times on multiple occasions. I have books about it and I can't remember it. I know the Carthaginians fought from building to building, did everything in their power to win the siege, even using their children to an extent. But I mean, most of the time they were burning them alive, so I don't see how they had any left. Poor Carthage. So I guess Carthage lives on. Woohoo! We have an alternate history here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.